I Another shooting in the Bronx today, 156th Street, I believe it is, in the South Bronx. Um, I'm not sure. I need more information whether it was gang related. I don't know why I don't see the chat. Let's see why I don't see the chat. Anyway, this is broad daylight. This is kids trying to come home from school and gunfire erupt. I guess it was aimed at them because three of them got shot. Two females, 16 years old, and a gentleman, 17 years old. So I don't know who the gunfire was for, but all three of them, I guess they was together and they got shot. I'm not sure if they was together, but more gunfire. First, we had the 61-year-old lady got caught in the crossfire. She was an innocent bystander. Now we have teens, kids. Your kids going to school, trying to get home from school, and gunfire erupt. Hitting one of the girls in the chest, and she died. So that's pitiful for that family that they have to bury their daughter at 16 years old. Anyway, I was gonna do a live today before I heard that news. I was gonna do a live today about the RICO Act that they used to charge the mafia with. Now the Blood Gang, the Blood Crips, and all those other gangs are being charged with the RICO and conspiracy. So you join the gang because you want to be down. You have so many members. They just arrested like 20 gang members in the Bronx for murder of a young lady. And they all gonna get the RICO and conspiracy. Now the problem with that is not all of them participated in the murder, but all of them are going to be charged because they're a gang. Most of them don't even have the money to fight a heavy charge like that, and most of them, they didn't even get involved with the gang to get caught up in a situation like this. A lot of kids get down with the gang just so that they could be down, so that they could be cool, they could be hip, and so that they don't be outcast. They wear the colors, fly the flags or whatever, learn the signs, hand signs, and all stuff like that, just so that they could be down. They learn the lingo, and then they don't even know that the feds is watching this gang and that they involved in something real heavy that's going to cost them their life in jail. A lot of those gang members are getting like football numbers, like 15, 20 years and up. So they're going to miss their child life. So, yeah, just as I was going to do live about the RICO and the conspiracy, the news came out of shooting, a young, the shooting on 156th Street in the South Bronx. Somebody opened fire on those kids. I don't know if there was argument back and forth, and the guy pulled out a gun and started shooting and hit three people, two girls and a guy. So for you females, make sure you standing clear when you see these guys arguing. Cause me, I'm concerned about, going out in the daytime, getting my groceries and getting in like the 61-year-old lady was trying to do. And now we have a situation where kids can't even get home from school. So everybody's out here carrying guns. They just pull out a gun at the drop of a dime. I seen something white there. I know I got grays popping, but I had one right here in the middle. Yeah, this is crazy. Let me see if I could pull up the news article. Let me see if I could find it on my phone. Wow, it's a lot of stuff in the Bronx going on. A lot of news articles. This is so sad. Imagine your 16-year-old daughter couldn't make it home from school because gunfire erupted.
Jay here just agreed to their first ever camping trip. It's all good. Alexa's got you.
Alexa, take me to... NYPD just gave us an update a short time ago. They say that a 16-year-old girl was shot and killed. Two other teenagers were hurt. They're in the hospital, but all of them were just walking home from school in the Bronx when the shooting unfolded. News 4's Adam Harding is live at that scene. Melrose. Adam, what have we learned about this?
Well, Adam, this is certainly a horrific scene behind us here in the Bronx. The police commissioner a short time ago breaking her silence, saying that this 16-year-old little girl had a bright future ahead of her. Instead, she was gunned down late this afternoon when she was walking home from school with a couple of friends. Here we are at East 156th and St. Anne's Ave in the Bronx. You can see the type of police response that we're dealing with at this hour. Several blocks in this area have been roped off as investigators continue to comb for evidence. We see a number of orange markers off to our side, which presumably would be those bullet casings. One witness tells me that he heard about 6 gunshots, and tonight we know that among the victims, they were all teenagers, high school age teenagers. A 16-year-old girl is dead, another 16-year-old injured, and a 17-year-old male was also injured. Let me show you what the video from the scene earlier this afternoon looked like. These shots rang out at around 3 o'clock this afternoon. According to police, there was some type of dispute between a suspect and somebody else, and that's when the suspect, police say, pulled out a gun and started discharging the gun. The victims were not the intended targets. They were simply walking home after school. We're not far from a nearby high school. That's when police say they were all struck. That 16-year-old was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. The other 16-year-old female who was shot, she was struck in the lower body, as was the male victim in this, 17 years old. Those two are expected to survive, certainly, but for witnesses in this area, this was chaos, and this was another heartbreaking example of young lives lost to gun violence in the city.
I heard about 3 shots, but that's a normal in this area, hearing shots, but this is unbelievable. This needs to stop.
Moments ago, the governor sending out a tweet saying, today a child is dead after a drive-by shooting at a Bronx school. Our hearts break for their family, and we pray that the other victims recover. This is why we are working to get guns off the street and hold those who commit gun crimes accountable. We must keep our children safe. The mayor moments later are following up, saying that we lost a 16-year-old baby in the Bronx today. We pray for this young girl, for her family, and for the other 2 victims in the hospital. It is a tragedy. It is unacceptable. It is why we cannot abandon our streets to gun violence. Behind us here, the scene is certainly still very active. It will likely stay that way for the next few hours as police continue to search for whoever shot these 3 children, these 3 teenagers. No ID yet on the suspect. No arrests have been made, but police tonight telling us they do have surveillance video that they are working with right now. Certainly, Adam, a heartbreaking scene behind us here. A 16-year-old girl losing her life to gun violence in the city. That's the latest live tonight in the Bronx. I'm Adam Harding, News 4, New York.
Heartbreak.
heartbreaking and infuriating. Adam, thank you so much. We're staying on top of this breaking news in the Bronx, of course. You can stick with us on air and online at NBCNewYork.com. We'll bring you an update with anything we know about the shooting as soon as we get it.
The Unison Beatmaker blueprint is out.
Okay, so that was on 156th Street and St. Anne's Avenue. You heard the gentleman say that gunshots is normal in that community. Hearing gunshots is normal, but that was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, the sun didn't even go down yet. And the young lady, 16-year-old, they called her baby, is what she is, lost her life. But what they saying is that they was innocent bystanders also. So the gentleman that was shooting didn't even hit his target. I don't know if the 17-year-old gentleman was somebody that he was aiming at, but the 16-year-old got shot in her chest, and the other girl got shot in the lower part of her body, her legs, or what have you. And the 17-year-old the gentleman got shot in his buttocks. So we just pulling out guns in the afternoon, early afternoon, when kids is discharging from school, trying to get home from school. You would think that's the safest time of the day. When the kids is coming out of school, you would think that the criminals will wait until sundown at least or something. So I just wanted to bring that news to you. The other story, the other story
The table to my right, that's littered again, unfortunately, with
Look at all those
examples of what's
guns.
walking around on the streets of New York City.
NYPD detectives showed off 14 of the weapons recovered during a long investigation into a gang that ruthlessly controlled the crack cocaine market in and around the Melrose and Jackson public housing complexes. 22 members of the Mac Ballers, a gang related to the more commonly known Bloods,
That's
were
the South
indicted.
Bronx.
20 have already been arrested.
This investigation is continuing. These 22 aren't the only members that we're going to go after. But again, like Chief Shea said, it takes a while, and we will not stop until all the people in the Bronx are safe.
Detectives say this gang bust is unique because it did not involve traditional undercover drug buying tactics. Instead, detectives carefully mapped out 12 non-fatal shootings, 7 instances of shots fired, and a 7-year-old homicide. They cross-referenced all of that with witnesses, informants, and even social media posts.
As you start piecing together these different pieces of data, video, statements of witnesses, postings on social media, you start to give prosecutors, whether it's local or federal, more and more evidence that can be built up and provide a solid investigative case.
And this will be all handled as a large federal racketeering case, with each suspect facing very serious time. Live in the Melrose section of the Bronx, Henry Rossoff, Pix 11 News.
So those gang members are gonna be facing a RICO. and conspiracy. So everybody in the gang that they catch in that gang is going to be faced with the charges. And everybody is really, some, I was not 20 people shot their gun. So I would say that some of them are just getting down with the gang just to be down. But look what you're going to be facing now. You know, murder charges, attempt murder charges, shootings, and all kind of things like that. And you just trying to be cool, and you just trying to get down with a gang, just so you could be in and so you could be cool. And in some neighborhoods, um, these young kids, I can't really call it, but in order to come outside and have peace, you have to kind of like get down with whatever gang that's in your neighborhood. So some in some situations they just don't want to get bullied by the gang, so they get down with the gang and be a part of the gang. But when you do that, now you facing charges for racketeering. Them charges that they used to put on the mafia, the RICO, and the mafia got money, so they would come with their high profile attorneys, and in some cases they beat the charges. But these kids, these black and Hispanic minority kids, they don't have no money like that. They don't have no money to be beating no RICO. So they're gonna just be throwing their lives away because they're gonna get like football numbers in jail. So yeah, it's just going down almost on a daily basis in the Bronx. But I'm gonna tell you, if any parents is watching, you got kids in a gang, or you was in a gang yourself, try to separate yourself. However you could do it, try to get your kids out of it because you're gonna be taking packages to jail and having to accept those collect calls from the jail for your kids and putting money on the commissary and stuff like that. So and who God knows how long, what kind of sentences they're gonna be getting. Even if they're not the shooter, they still gonna be looking at conspiracy. Like they was all in it together. The RICO, racketeering, two or more individuals plotting to, commit a crime. So if your kids is involved with gangs and you know that, try to get them out. That's all I have to say. Try to get them out of that situation. Some of them it might be in too deep already. They doing videos, they doing music videos, expressing that they got beef. I was looking at a video today with the guy, Gunu. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, the one that they had hanging in the club. And I was looking at his last live that he did, and he was beefing. He was beefing with somebody online on Instagram, threatening, threatening them, and letting them know that he wasn't scared of them, and calling them punks and chumps and stuff like that. So you got to be careful what your mouth may get you into. The things that they're saying on the internet. trying to see how this chat go because I don't even see the chat. It says all messages are visible, but I don't have anybody in the chat. So y'all like the video. I'm not staying on here no longer. I just wanted to come to bring that there's another shooting in the Bronx, a broad daylight, around the school, 156th Street and St. Anne's Avenue. That's my old stomping grounds. I used to hang out down there. You know, the North Bronx is not as bad as the South Bronx. South Bronx is like really, really terrible now. If you have to live down there, walk around down there, go to the store, go to school down there, the South Bronx is really getting worse and worse by the day. So y'all like this video, subscribe to my channel. Um, Leave me a comment. You know, let me know your thoughts. And if you want to um, cash app me, if you want to donate, my cash app is the Duchess, the same way I spell it, THADUTCHEZ is my cash app. All right, so peace. I'm going to be out. I'm off this. Hopefully we don't have another incident tomorrow, because it just seems like there's a war going on in the Bronx. I don't know what it's about. I'm not in those streets like that to know. I'm out of touch. I'm out of touch with the streets, you know. I just, listen to the news like everybody else. And there's a lot going on in the Bronx for me to be living here, born and raised here. And hopefully it don't hit closer to home. I'm just hoping not. I'm in the North Bronx. A whole lot of stuff is going on in the South Bronx. And things happen uptown too. You know, a lot of stuff happens up here too, but it's not as bad as the South Bronx. So check your kids, see what they're doing. You know, check their clothes, see what colors they wearing, see if they're wearing those colors. And if you're a parent that started out as a blood or a crip or a gang member and your kids is getting involved now because they seen you do it, try to stop them. Else, you might end up going to a funeral, or you may end up, they may end up locked up, and you hadn't put money in on their books. And that's the worst way to live. They don't want to end up with a case that they can't handle as far as, you know, getting an attorney. So peace. I'm out.